Hello everyone, welcome back to Super Smash or Pass. Today, we're going to be talking about Bandana Dee. Now, Bandana Waddle Dee is a character that might go back a little bit further than most people think. Of course, when you think of the character, you think of Return to Dreamland. But Bandana Waddle Dee's first appearance actually was in Kirby Superstar back in 1996 on the Super Nintendo. He appeared in the Megaton Punch minigame where he was just an opponent in that game, and it wasn't a super notable appearance, but that was his first appearance, or its first appearance, I guess. Bandana Waddle Dee also then appeared in Kirby Superstar Ultra on the Nintendo DS in 2008 as, from what I gathered, to be a mini-boss who, kind of shows up and fights instead of King Dedede at one point. I don't know. I didn't play that game. And then, of course, after that, he made his debut as a playable character in Kirby Return to Dreamland on the Nintendo Wii in 2011, and has appeared in every single Kirby game ever since. Made a minor appearance in Kirby Mass Attack, also in 2011, for the Nintendo DS, and this is a very, very minor appearance. I think it shows up in the crowd at one point. It's a very, very minuscule appearance, similarly to Gino's cameo in Super Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, similar to that. And Waddle Dee makes another minor appearance in Kirby Triple Deluxe back in 2014 for the Nintendo 3DS, and wow, it does not feel like that game came out in 2014. Time flies a lot faster than you think. Bandana Waddle Dee then went on to become the secondary playable character in Kirby and the Rainbow Curse on the Nintendo Wii U in 2015, and then returning to that same minor appearance that they made in Kirby Triple Deluxe in Kirby Planet Robobot back in 2016. Last year, Bandana Waddle Dee appeared in Team Kirby Clash on the Nintendo 3DS. This is an eShop game. This, along with some other games, which are the only games that Bandana Waddle Dee has not technically appeared in, are just mini games from Kirby games that have been turned into a little bit larger games and released on the eShop. So I don't really consider these mainline Kirby games, more like side games. And then this year, Bandana Waddle Dee has appeared in two separate games: Kirby Battle Deluxe on the Nintendo 3DS, and of course, Kirby Star Allies on the Nintendo Switch. Now, Bandana Waddle Dee is a character who I personally think has a very, very, very good chance for a unique moveset, right? Because there's no spear users in Smash Brothers. We have sword users and stuff, and there might be some similarity there, but I really do think that being able to be a long-range fighter and whatnot would make it very, very interesting, because it's not as long-range as, let's say, the Inklings, but it's a lot more long-range than someone like Marth. And of course, there's just not that many opportunities for another spear user to come into Super Smash Brothers. Of course, there's Crystal from the Star Fox series, but seeing as she was already confirmed as an assist trophy for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, yes, she could appear in a future Smash Bros. Game, but I also don't think it's that big of a deal because those two characters could have very, very separate movesets, especially since Crystal's staff is more of a laser staff than it is a spear, so there's differences there. And of course, there are tons of spear users in Fire Emblem, including characters like Chrom or Lucina, but a lot of those characters who can use spears are usually sword wielders, and the characters who just use spears, like Sully from Fire Emblem Awakening, for example, usually aren't exactly the type of characters that make it into Smash Brothers, being more minor characters from those games. And of course, for Bandana Waddle Dee's final Smash, I would love to see the return of the Megaton Punch. I think it's a lot of fun, and it could be really funny because you could do a thing where he breaks the planet in half or whatever, some crazy stuff, and this tiny little character is super cute and adorable, and I think it'd just be fun. Now, a lot of people have always responded to the idea of Bandana Waddle Dee being in Smash Brothers as well. It's just a Goomba with a hat, right? It's no more important than, let's say, the Goomba in Super Mario Odyssey that wears hats. That is the same level. What's the difference? Well, I really think if you have that opinion, you're not looking at this character through Kirby game lenses. Like I said, Bandana Waddle Dee has made consistent appearances in every single mainline Kirby game since its introduction as a playable character. It's also one of the main four characters of those games. Whenever you see playable Kirby characters, usually it's going to be Kirby, Meta Knight, King Dedede, and Bandana Waddle Dee. Of course, the first 3-star allies that weren't, downloadable afterwards were Bandana Dee, Meta Knight, and King Dedede. So this character is important to Kirby. It's like saying that Captain Toad is just a Toad. it just really doesn't make sense because the Bandana Waddle Dee has been given more importance than a regular Waddle Dee and does more than a regular Waddle Dee. And I think that limiting that character to just being a regular Waddle Dee is really just looking at just design and nothing else from the Kirby games. And I don't think that just because of that, it should be excluded from Smash automatically. Bandana Waddle Dee also apparently is very popular in Japan. I don't know, apparently there's this poll going around on at least Instagram, and I'm not sure exactly how true it is, but apparently in this poll, he made second, only behind Rex from Xenoblade. And I'm sure most of you know that, of course, Smash Bros. Is developed in Japan, and the Japanese audience is probably the most important audience in terms of who's the most relevant to be added in as far as Sakurai's perception. Also remember that Kirby Superstar was made by Masahiro Sakurai, therefore making Bandana Waddle Dee a Sakurai character. And I'm pretty sure he has some favoritism at the very least for his characters, even though I guess it did take Meta Knight and King Dedede up until Brawl to get into the game, so maybe not, but I don't know. In the end, I really just do think that Bandana Waddle Dee will make both a good inclusion to the cast, having a unique moveset, as well as being a character that is more important than people really think they are. And for these reasons, I'm giving Bandana Waddle Dee the verdict of Although, that's just my opinion. Maybe you do think that Bandana Waddle Dee is just an overglorified Goomba. Or maybe you agree that it shares at least as much importance as characters like Captain Toad, and for that reason should be at least looked at when bringing into a conversation about Smash Brothers. And last week, of course, I gave Captain Toad the verdict of Smash, and you guys have agreed with me, giving Captain Toad a 55% Smash as opposed to a 44% Pass. So I'm glad we agreed on that one, and hopefully we can agree on this one too, because I really do think both these characters really have a very good chance of being included. That's all for today's episodes, guys. Remember to come back next week. We'll be doing a highly requested character. I'll put something here to give you a little sneak peek at who that is. I don't want to say it outright. I don't know. I'll leave you guys guessing a little bit. Remember to like, comment, favorite, subscribe, do all the fun stuff. And don't forget, there is a Super Smash Bros. Direct tomorrow, the 8th of August. And it's at these times. The thing will be up on the screen. I don't know. It's 10 a.m. here, Eastern Standard Time. It's way too early for me. But you know, whatever, Nintendo. See you guys next time. Bye.